Assalamualaikum and good day. Today, I want to describe the difference between debt financing in Islamic financial institution compared to the conventional system. Let's say there are three parties involved. The first one here we have the Islamic banking institution. The second one is a car buyer interested to buy a car. So here we have a car dealer or a car seller, and when the buyer identify the car he is interested to buy, he would uh, tell the bank, make a loan application to the bank. And what bank will do after evaluating the credit worthiness, bank will buy the car from the car seller with a murabahah contract. Is a cash sales contract. Bank now owns the car and would sell the car to the buyer now. Bank buys the car from the car seller using murabahah, cost plus profit to the seller. But now bank owns the car and sell it to the buyer at a certain profit margin, let's say 10% per annum. And then this buyer would pay the price of the car plus the profit charged by the bank with an installment payment, monthly payment. And the contract involves here between the buyer and the bank is known as Bay' Bitaman Ajil, BBA. This is a deferred payment contract. So this is the contract between the buyer and the bank. And now we can see that there are two types of sales contract involved. The first one is between bank and the car seller using murabahah, and the second sales contract involved is between the buyer and the bank based on the Bank Bitaman Ajil contract. What about in the case of a conventional bank? Now, in the case of a conventional bank, there are three parties also. The first one is the conventional bank, alright, and then there is a buyer also interested to buy a car, and this buyer will go to any car dealer, find the car he is interested to buy, make an order from the car seller, and after that he will go to the bank for a loan application. Bank will evaluate the application. Once approved, bank will give the loan, basically approves the loan. Using the money, the buyer will then pay the seller and get the car. Basically that's what happens, alright. But of course usually bank will transfer the money straight to the seller. And now between the buyer and the bank, there is a loan contract plus interest. What we can see here, the difference between conventional bank and Islamic bank is that, number one, between buyer and the bank, there is no sales contract involved. It's just a matter of loan transaction and loan plus interest. On the other hand, in the Islamic financing contract between buyer and the bank is the sales contract, sales plus a markup, not interest. Alright. In the conventional system, between buyer and the car dealer, yes, there is a sales contract. Therefore, there is only one sales contract involved here between buyer and the seller. But in the Islamic financing contract, there are two sales contract. The first one between buyer and seller. The first one is between bank and the car dealer, and the second one between bank and the car buyer. Alright, I hope this helps to explain the difference. And the most important point to note here is that in the Islamic financing contract, there is no interest involved. sales contract is used to avoid interest or riba. That's all for this time. Thank you for listening. Wassalam.